all the guys have done a nice job of coming in and learning the system, working hard. We sure would like more time on task, but as we'll just continue to work each and every day to get better.
You guys made a move to get JD because seeing as you have some experience with him, I guess you had at least a little bit of input into getting that guy in. What are your thoughts on him and what does he bring to the team?
He's a versatile guy, so he can play a lot of different roles for you. So I think that was the first thing that was exciting about him. He's a guy that you want to get the ball into his hands because he's a nice playmaker that way. We'll put him in the mix with a really good room, and see how it shakes out.
Wasn't surprised with the three quarterbacks. That's not something that we've seen here in a couple of years. Can you just explain the decision there? What you think about Johnson?
It was good competition, the whole way through, and we're just really trying to develop the backup role. We liked David in the off season, in the scouting that we did of him from his days at Purdue, and the workouts that we did. Coach Ryan went down there and worked him out, talked to him. So we thought highly of him that way. And then when there was an opportunity to get him, we just we felt comfortable with it and want to be able to put him in the mix and give him a chance to compete.
Joe all kind of emerged in that competition at guard. Just what you thought of his progress through camp and.
Yeah, from what I've seen, he's doing a nice job. We've really given all those guys the opportunity to compete, and it's fun to watch a good competition. There's I think between him and Ibushi and Wiggins, and those guys have competed hard. We've given them really great opportunities. They've been in and out in different roles, so it's been it's been fun to watch that competition.
Yeah, obviously the system is new, but anytime you're going into a season, what are the challenges of the first couple games as you get going?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is some of the unknowns. You have as you get more into the season, there's some, you kind of know what you're going to expect, know what you're preparing for. So I think there's a little bit of that right now, with a new staff particularly. How are they going to use their personnel? Who's their personnel? What's the philosophy that they have? How have they changed? Are they doing the same things that they once did? So those are the questions that you're looking to answer now.
When you look at them defensively, anything jump out in particular about their defense, personnel-wise, scheme-wise, anything?
There's a good front. Obviously with the two rushers that they have on the edge, I think that's the first thing that jumps out at you. With Chandler Jones and Terrell Suggs there. So that's where it starts. I think that tells you they want to be able to get out after the passer. They're going to always be in the game, when they're in their base defense, but also when they're in their nickel defense. Those are two edge rushers. So I think that's where it starts for them.
Obviously, the biggest transformation offensively. I know you weren't here last year, but that tight end position, and you guys really spent some resources to build that up. What do you like about that unit heading into it?
Well, it's a versatile group. We can ask those guys to do a lot of different things. I think really all three of the guys, Hawk and Jesse and Logan, all three of them can play both the roles that we have. They can both play the Y, they can both play the U. We can move them around. I think we'll be able to keep ourselves from getting into any major tendencies that way because of the versatility that they have. Also, they're great targets in the passing game. They have good length. They have good catch radiuses. They all catch the ball really well. They're willing blockers. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses in the group, and it's a huge upgrade. It's a really a good room for us right now.
Darrell, I know you want to be committed to the run. You want to be a versatile offense, but over the course of the season, what do you need from your quarterback position for your offense to be successful?
You just have to play good football. Have to make good decisions, take care of the football. Not put it in harm's way. As long as we take care of the football, then we'll be fine. We're looking for Matthew to just be able to run the show. Just be able to be the master of the offense, get us all into good situations, keep us out of bad situations, and make smart decisions.
We get caught up sometimes thinking the big yardage number, the big touchdown number, but is there an efficiency metric that's important to coaches, like just making sure you're getting so much out of given plays over the course of the game?
Yeah, we grade. I don't know if there's like a percentage number, but we grade each and every play. We talk about the ins and outs of every single play. The decisions that are being made. Where we're going with the ball, the accuracy with which we put the ball. All those things. So there's really a lot that goes into to grading that position and seeing it the right way, I think.
Go ahead.
tight ends with TJ. Where did you see the biggest growth for him throughout training camp preseason?
I think it's really been daily. You know, he's just improved each and every day. You know, the cool thing about him is he's kind of come in and it hasn't been too big for him. He hasn't been that wide-eyed rookie. He's really taken it all in stride. He's been really in the playbook. He's studied hard. He knows his assignments. He does the right thing. He's a trustworthy guy, and I think all those things are things that make coaches feel comfortable because of the fact that when he's had opportunities to make the plays, he's made his plays, and then when he's the assignments which we ask him to do, he's been on it.
Has he been even more sure-handed than you thought he might be? I mean, it seems like he never dropped a pass in training camp.
I wouldn't say more sure-handed. I thought he was a really good receiver coming out. Really liked him. I really liked what how he caught the ball, what he did with it after he caught it in college as well. So, there was a lot of upside to him.
Kerryon obviously showed he could run the football last year with the yards per carry average, but I think one thing too is his ability to catch the football and be a weapon in the passing game. How nice is that to have in your offense? If you see him as kind of a 2-3 down type of back with that ability.
I mean, it's great to have versatility, with all your guys, right? And so Kerryon is no different. I mean, we'd love to get him to be a part of the passing game. I mean, the easiest thing to do to get him the ball is hand it to him, right? But to be a weapon in the passing game would be a huge deal for our offense. It would be, they'd be a major factor.
Walked up a little late, you may have already been asked this, but building on the versatility in the backfield, J.D. McKissick was the guy you worked for before. I'm sure that your opinion and evaluation of him helped bring him here. I'm just wondering what you like about his game. I saw you wind up out wide in the slot in the backfield, and what you think maybe he can bring to the offense here.
Yeah, I think that we talked earlier, just the versatility that he has. You can use him in different spots. He's a very explosive player. He's a player that you want to try to get the ball into his hands. Because and the versatility he has, you can use him at different in different areas. You can use him as a receiver, you can use him as a running back. We see him as a running back. He had nice carries for us at least the year I was there in Seattle. So looking for him to put him in that group and add a really nice piece to that room.
Fair to call it a mismatch piece.
Well, I mean, you'd like to think of it that way. I mean, if you can create it and if the defense is going to allow it to happen. Yeah.
You mentioned where Arizona was strong. Is that a big matchup this week with Rick and Taylor?
I think it's always that's always going to be a big matchup. Is the offensive line and being able to protect the quarterback, whoever those guys are. I mean, every team has them, right? That's always a critical part is being able to protect the quarterback.
Sorry if you've been asked this already, but just kind of curious how Nick Collins, it seems like he has that kind of old school mentality, but he's more versatile than maybe what old school guys have been. Just curious how a game kind of fit into the evaluation of the running backs room in general.
Yeah, Nick's done a great job for us. I think it was huge for him to be able to come back from the injury. The off season that he had was amazing, just in terms of his commitment, dedication to getting his body right, and being able to get back out there to play. So that was cool to watch. But then to watch him out there, the physical presence that he brings is something that we're looking for. The old school, like you're talking about, the nastiness, the willingness to bloody his nose. I think is something that we really needed in the offense, and he's been a nice addition to do that. He's not afraid to run in and run into a brick wall every play for us if we need it. But he does have versatility, and we can ask him to do different things. If you needed to, you can hand him the ball. Obviously, throwing the fullback is really kind of the way that he gets his touches more than handed it to him usually in the offense. But he has the ability to do that.
Do you feel like you had to start over? I know because it's obviously coming into the rookies and playing in the backfield. There's a blocker can be tough. Just wide guys picking some defensive stuff. Did you have to start over with him because he was hurt all last year, or do you feel like he made progress?
No, I think it was new for everybody. So the whole system was new, and he's been no different than any of the other guys. I mean, they really applied themselves well in the offseason. He's done a nice job of picking up the offense. I mean, plays are plays. It's really more the verbiage and those kind of things. So I don't know what he was like when he was here last year. I know it was a short stint because he got injured, but he's done a great job that way of picking it up and being able to be a nice integral part of the offense.
What did you like about Chris and Travis kind of earning his number 4 and number 5?
Well, I mean, they just competed. You know, I mean, it's kind of the way that it shook out, and they know that they're always still competing, and but Chris did a really nice job of making himself available for us on the offense, being versatile, learning more than one position. Also, I think he made a name for himself on special teams as well, which is really critical for that part of your team. And he was able to do that. You know, Travis is a young player that's developing. I think you saw some flash plays that he was able to make, but you know, still a guy that needs to continue to develop and have some urgency about him.
Common thread with good coaches is they match skill sets to their scheme. They don't want to force their scheme and skill sets. And you made that point all along that you wanted to get to know your guys before you develop the scheme. How much, maybe from what your initial vision of what it might look like here, has it changed over the course of the offseason? You've got to learn the players that you've had.
Yeah, I think it's changed a little bit just in terms of figuring out what the guys do well. So you have to start somewhere. So there was a place where we started and kind of said, okay, this is what we want to do, this is what we're going to run, and then it becomes, okay, now like who runs that the best, and how can we get this guy here, move him over here, and kind of just start moving the pieces around to fit their skill sets and what they do best. And that's kind of the where we've gone the last 2 weeks here, and then we're heading into this week.
And now that college football has started, just watching some of those coaches out there, Lincoln, for example, at Oklahoma, how much do you watch those guys and maybe the innovation they're doing at that level? The skill set's different, I understand.
Yeah.
It's some tough for some of that to translate. How much do you try to, evolve just by watching, some of the creativity that happens at that level?
Well, we definitely watch ball. Probably not as much college ball as we are because we're so busy during the week. But we get to see plenty of games that we're watching from in the NFL. And then I think some of that study happens a little bit more during the off season when you're looking at those things and when you're scouting the players that are coming out and asking questions about how much they're rolling up yards and offense and and then does it translate to to our game, and we'll get a good look at that this week.
How much of your offense would you say you've installed to this point, and then maybe how much more is left undiscovered at this point?
I really think it's a hard question to answer, because it's. I mean, we have a good chunk of stuff in, but as we were just talking about, as we continue to learn the players and put them in different positions, then some of it gets tweaked and names get changed. So it's really it's really an evolution from from phase 2 to the last week of the season. It continues to evolve, it continues to change, continues to put little wrinkles in, and so I don't know if there's ever you say this is the final set.
And just during the last, I'm just curious what your impressions are of this man on the field and off the field.
Yeah, off the field he's been good. I think he went through the process of processing what we were doing with the offensive line, and then he's been great. He's worked hard. He's competed. We put him in a big competition with Joe and Wiggins and Ibushi and those guys, and he's been steady, and he's gone out there, competed, and worked hard at it.
I did want to go back to that college question.
Yeah.
You said that's an off-season study type of thing. A whole year off. I wondered how much during that year off of football did you really dive in and maybe evolve your own, thought processes to constructing an offense in general?
Oh, there's definitely some evolution there, and I watched a lot of ball during that time, and I spent a lot of time with my family. That's basically what I did in the offseason at that time.
Just wondering, our defense is going to be surprised maybe by some of the stuff that you roll out that maybe isn't what you previously established on the team.
We'll have to see.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that for them, but we'll have
I
to
wasn't
see.
asking what the surprises were. I'm just asking,
Yeah.
will they be surprised?
I don't know. You have to ask them if it's a surprise or not. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
You prefer not sort of pigeonholing guys in certain roles, but just looking at the wide receiver depth chart. Danny is really the only true slot you have there. Do you see maybe JD pitching in there, or you have comfort level with some of those other guys being able to move in inside and play there.
Yeah, I mean that's a really important role for us. But I mean you'll see Danny in there, but we have the ability to move all kinds of guys in there, and so really the whole group, because you have so few guys on your roster. Really, you have to have guys that are flexible, that can learn more than one position. We can change the name of the formation to get a different guy in there. So Marv can go in there, Kenny can go in there, Lacey can go in there, JD could go in there. So we have plenty of options that we could put in there.